It may be vintage. It may have once been out of your range, but now you'll find it's priced right. This is Katie with Design Exchange, where discerning buyers with discriminating taste come to find premium home decor at a value.
Design Exchange.
Imagine all the things you dream of under one roof. You're thinking of eBay. Fashion, collectibles, car parts. It's all there. Go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Built right. One location.
Gotta get to Built Right today.
Stay up to date with your trusted and relevant source in news, sports, traffic, and weather. We are Wisconsin's radio station. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
At 10 o'clock, 36 degrees, sunshine and clouds today with a high of 46. Tonight, mostly clear. Frost is likely overnight and a low down to 28. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Vince Vitrano. Quiet weather ahead for the next few days, but WTMJ meteorologist Craig Copleen predicts a wet weekend ahead. Rain possible Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Says, well, the timing is tough with it being the weekend and all. We need the water.
We're going to need some precipitation here to sort of catch up from the snow we didn't get over the winter time. This time of the year, it's not unusual, of course, to get a fair amount of rain as well. So this is sort of not great timing, given that it's a weekend.
Your complete WTMJ 5-day forecast coming up in about 4 minutes. Decision Wisconsin today marks 1 week until the spring election. In-person absentee voting continues. Last day your clerk's office can offer the opportunity is Sunday, though most communities do not have early voting on the weekends. You want to check with your local clerk for days and hours. You can register to vote in person at your local clerk's office until Friday or at your polling place on Election Day. Polls open next week, Tuesday, 7 a.m. Happening right now, members of the U.S. Senate Intelligence Committee grilling national security officials. They want to know about a messaging chain that inadvertently included a journalist, ended up revealing secret information about a U.S. military attack on Yemen. Jeffrey Goldberg is the reporter for The Atlantic who was included in that group chat.
It's a robust conversation. It's actually pretty impressive in some ways. They're going back and forth. A lot of resentment directed at European allies of the United States, which obviously enhanced the credibility of this chain because everybody in the chain sounded like the people I know who are in this administration.
Lawmakers lining up to blast the breach, concerned that the U.S. military service members could have been endangered. ABC News Chief Global Affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz.
If adversaries had managed to hack those messages, this could have potentially cost lives. The president's national security team apparently using personal phones to talk about war planning. And one of the members of the chat group, according to the timeline, was in Russia at the time.
And again, that Senate hearing still underway in Washington at this hour. Meanwhile, markets responding positively to news that President Trump may soften some of the tariffs he's threatened to impose April 2nd. Tariffs have caused Canadians to boycott, in some cases, American products and travel destinations. Canadian economist Todd Hirsch telling WTMJ's Political Power Hour.
But Americans also purchase a lot from Canada. Resources like oil and gas, things like lumber, things like steel and aluminum. And those things are going to cost more for American consumers.
President Trump confirmed no exemptions for steel and aluminum tariffs, with more expected April 2nd. Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow Jones Industrial Average right now up about 89 points to 42,672. The NASDAQ is at 5785. That's up about 18 points. And, that's the S&P 500. The NASDAQ at 18,278. That is up 90 points, about 0.5%. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
Tell us a little bit about innovative signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
Outdoor Living Unlimited puts cool stuff in your yard. Patios, decks, pergolas, outdoor kitchens, screen rooms, even in-ground pools. You dream it, we design it together, then Outdoor Living Unlimited installs it for you. OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
He's Donald Trump's right-hand man, Elon Musk. And now Musk is trying to buy Brad Schimmel a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Because Musk knows when you buy Schimmel, he'll do whatever you want. Like when Schimmel gave a plea deal to a man caught with child porn, after the man's lawyer gave Schimmel thousands of dollars. And Schimmel will ban abortion, with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the health of the mother. Deeply corrupt and totally extreme. That's the real Brad Schimmel. There's a better choice.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford. As a former prosecutor and now as a judge, I've made sure rapists, murderers, and child predators were behind bars.
Protecting your family and your most basic rights. That's Judge Susan Crawford.
And I trust women to make their own healthcare decisions. Brad Schimmel doesn't, but I always will.
So on April 1st, vote for Judge Susan Crawford, Supreme Court. Paid for by Susan Crawford for Wisconsin.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk. Bucks have one more on the road before returning home to Fiserv Forum Friday night.
Giannis on attack mode again. Takes it down low, and he's rocking the rim again. Hanging from that rim. It is still shaking from the Greek Freak and his latest thunderous dunk.
Dave Kane on the call right here on WTMJ. Bucks and Suns with a late tip in Phoenix Monday. 31 points for Giannis, 23 for Brook Lopez. Dame Lillard still out, still wasn't enough. Suns top the Bucks 108-106. Bucks play the Nuggets in Denver tomorrow night. That's an 8 p.m. tip. Brewers on their way into the regular season, opening on Thursday following a 4-2 win over the Rockies in their final spring training game Monday. Veteran all-star Christian Yelich recovering from back surgery.
Feel healthy right now and excited to get things going for real.
Brewers and Yankees Sunday afternoon from New York. Taking a look at the roads, your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Report. No major incidents on the freeways this morning. Highway 16 to the Zoo and the Zoo to the Marquette both running on time. 4145 southbound. Highway Q to the Zoo also at its normal travel time. Everything else looking good right now at 10:07. Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunshine and clouds today with a high of 46 degrees. Quiet weather continues overnight and into tomorrow. Tonight's low 28. Maybe some frost when you wake up. Wednesday, partly cloudy, high 47. Thursday's high 54. Mostly cloudy skies and a slight chance of a shower in the morning. And then we start to get wet ahead of the weekend. Friday, a chance of showers and storms, high 65. Saturday's high 56 with a chance of showers and storms. 35 in Madison. Right now, Green Bay at 30. Waukesha at 36. And in Milwaukee, also 36 degrees. I'm Vince Vitrano. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time, 10:07.
We like to do things by the numbers. We're all about commerce and community. Welcome to the Upswing, presented by Horicon Bank, the natural choice for all your banking needs. Now for the host that's always on the upswing, Jeff Sherman.
Now, to business, gentlemen.
Good morning, Wisconsin. Good morning, Milwaukee. Happy Tuesday. Hope your day is off and running well. Just a few notes to open the show. If you have 10 or 15 minutes after the show, of course, take time to read the Atlantic article today that dropped yesterday, about the administration's use of Signal, the messaging platform. It's fascinating on so many levels. I mean, we talk often about corporate communications and emails and texts on the show, but I wanted to just provide a little bit of background on Signal. It's developed by a company called Signal Messenger LLC, a software company that was founded by two individuals, Moxie Marlinspike and Brian Action, in 2018. Now it's a wholly owned tax-exempt nonprofit corporation called Signal Technology Foundation that created this messaging app. So the platform is used now by many senior people in D.C. And the title of the story at The Atlantic that you're hearing about all day today, the Trump administration accidentally texted me its war plans. U.S. national security leaders included me in a group chat about the upcoming military strikes in Yemen. I didn't think it could be real. Then the bombs started falling. Take time. I'm not going to editorialize about it, but take time to read the story by Jeffrey Goldberg in The Atlantic. It is fascinating on so many levels. I'm reading a lot of Fast Company these days. Fast Company, the business publication founded in 1997. When it came out, it was really a new type of business magazine. Big, bold, a bit in your face with its storytelling. It's still incredibly relevant today, especially when it comes out with its annual Most Innovative Companies lists. This year's list includes a Milwaukee-based company. One of the owners of SRH will join us later in the show. So as I read and listen throughout the day, I learn a lot too. So that's why we like to start every show with a segment we call Two Up.
Now it's time for the Two Up on the Upswing.
Number one, a little ticket talk for you. StubHub. Maybe you're looking to get tickets for an upcoming concert or sporting event. It's a leading secondary ticket marketplace. It's officially filed for an IPO with the SEC, aiming to list its Class A common stock on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker STUB. Now, I did a little digging into the revenue of the company, $1.77 billion in 2024. Almost a 30% increase from 2023. However, it had a net loss of $2.8 million. Why? Last year, the company spent $828 million on sales and marketing. Most of went to what it's called fixed and variable marketing and advertising expenses. This was on its SEC filing. That's 47% of the company's revenue. Even for marketing forward people like myself, that's a lot of money. StubHub facilitated over 40 million ticket sales in 2024, averaging $217 per ticket, and had almost 1 million sellers. StubHub faces a lot of competition from Ticketmaster, Vivid Seats, and other similar companies. So the IPO is definitely going to be an interesting test for not only investors, but kind of the broader market in the ticket retail space. Second up, a little macro micro from Hyundai. Hyundai yesterday announced a $20 billion investment in U.S. manufacturing. It includes a $5 billion Louisiana steel plant. It's going to employ almost 1,300 people. The best way for Hyundai to navigate tariffs is to increase localization. This was according to Hyundai CEO Jose Munoz that he told Axios yesterday. I think this is good news, but as a country, we need to continue to play the long game here, right? We want to bring back industrial strength. A couple things that we need to do. We need to invest more in advanced training for skilled trades and automation technology. We need to really look at providing long-term tax and capital incentives for domestic production, and we need to treat reshoring, as a 20-year national strategy across all parties and all politics. Coming up next, come and play Everything's Okay. Can you tell me how to get to Sesame Street? This is The Upswing, and you're listening to WTMJ.
Spanning the State with Kristen Bry and Brian Noonan.
If I had to see the same amount of ads, I would rather those ads
actually informing you?
Yes. Tell me what that candidate is going to do, not made up garbage about what the other one did in your fantasy world. That's not what I want.
Tell us what you're going to do. How are these people supposed to campaign given what the nature of the job is? They're going to respond to the cases that come in front of them.
Yes.
Stop talking about the other person. We want to be more informed.
Only on WTMJ.
Burkhardt Sporting Goods in New Berlin is the baseball lover's destination with a massive state-of-the-art indoor training facility featuring hit tracks with precision analytics, a huge open turf area, and all the best training equipment you need. So get in here and get ready to get better. And we'll help you with this special offer. Buy 20 batting cage credits for $30. That's 25% off. This is Brian Burkhardt, and if you love baseball and softball like we do, You can't beat Burkhart. 153rd and National. If you plan on draining buzzer beaters, the place to start is Burkhart, where you'll find a great selection of residential basketball hoops from the best brand, Gorilla. We'll handle the installation and take care of everything to make it easy from start to finish. And right now, when you buy from Burkhart, standard hoop installation is half price. You can't beat that. This is Brian Burkhart, and when you love basketball like we do, you can't beat Burkhart. New Berlin and Fox Point.
Wherever you are in Wisconsin, there's a free and confidential Aging and Disability Resource Center, ADRC, or Tribal Partner Agency. We're here for older adults, adults with disabilities, and your families. ADRCs are a bridge to support for benefits and financial assistance, transportation, in-home care, and more. Get to know your local ADRC and connect with resources today. Call toll-free 1-844-WIS-ADRC or go to findmyadrc.org. Paid for by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Hey, WTMJ fans, have you been keeping up with the basketball madness happening? Well, there's more to come this week and weekend with only 16 teams remaining. Our friends at Palermo's are doing a contest giveaway, and we want you to participate. All you have to do is go to the WTMJ Facebook page and find the post that asks what 4 teams you think will be the last 4 remaining. The winner will receive 10 free pizza coupons. Yes, 10 free Palermo's pizza coupons. Go join the madness. Thanks to the good people at Palermo's Pizza. The good people at Palermo's Pizza. You know where else they're great people? Sesame Street Workshop. But I'm a little concerned, so I had to bring this story to your attention, talk it through, and provide some ideas. All right. So here's the landscape. Sherry Weston is a 27-year veteran of the Sesame Workshop. She became chief executive officer last year. Sesame Street Workshop is losing its lucrative contract with HBO, which is paid about $30 million a year for a decade for the rights to the show. With Hollywood suddenly watching all of its pennies, it's not as much coin in the coffers right now. So HBO is walking away from the deal, leaving Sesame Workshop with a decision. What do you do with this amazing, historical, relevant, educational content? Bunch of things that I think Sesame Street can look into. First, just a little bit about what the people at Sesame Street Workshop are saying. This isn't a rejection of Sesame Street, and Sesame Street is not going away, said the CEO, but we absolutely have a responsibility to change the world around us as it's changing if we want to continue to deliver on our mission. And that's exactly what's happening in the content space, especially on the kids side, right? If you have kids or grandkids at home, Sesame Street's probably a part of that daily watch. But the landscape has changed so much. You have Bluey, you have Coco Melon. Is Caillou still around? I think Caillou's still playing in the space too. So Sesame Street controls its own destiny in terms of what it wants to do. But the funding isn't going to be there at the high levels anymore. But is there an ideal partner out there? I did some thinking about what the next steps of Sesame Street Workshop could be. Obviously, the company wants financial stability to support the show's production costs, right? A commitment to educational content for children is first and foremost in their mind. They want wide reach. They want to ensure that Sesame Street remains accessible to as many kids as possible. So who's the ideal partner? A few thoughts. Maybe Apple TV Plus, Amazon Prime, Netflix. How about YouTube to syndicate the show through its platform? And then you have the free streaming services out there like Tubi and Sling and Roku. Now, Tubi is owned by the Fox Corporation, which means it can pull from Fox's large library of film and TV, but it could really work well to include the Sesame Street content within its realm. How about this, though? Just an idea I'm going to throw out there. Sesame Street needs a partner They need somebody with reach. They need somebody with fans from age 2 to age 92. How about this? How about Sesame Street Workshop looks to partner with the NFL? How about the NFL buying the license rights to Sesame Street? The partnership simply, right? It could help Sesame Street overcome its current distribution challenges, some of its financial issues, and then it provides the NFL with a unique opportunity to diversify its content and audiences. What do you think? What do you think? The Siding Unlimited WTMJ talk and text line is 855-616-1620. Are you still watching Sesame Street in your household? What and how can the company continue to get its relevant educational messages out there in a new manner, but with a new partner? I'm saying go where the fans already are. Go where the content is already great, but go where a big company needs access to younger fans and create an ongoing, stable pipeline. No matter what, if you're passionate about Sesame Street Workshop, you can always donate to Sesame Street Workshop, which is a nonprofit organization. So take the time out of your day if that's something you want to do. I think it's important that Sesame Street continues in some way, shape, or form, whether it's Max, whether it's just on PBS, whether it's YouTube, whatever that distribution model is. But I think it's a very, very interesting time for Sesame Street, and we're going to see how these changing media landscapes affect educational programming for our kids. Coming up next, the Upswing Coffee Index and an update on Mob Craft Brewing. This is the Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
Anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash. If you really want to see something trashy.
There are a lot of interesting people and traditions in Wisconsin. 1 hour of covering culture and creativity in our state is simply not enough. I'm Sandy Max of WTMJ's What's on Tap with the happy news that my show is now expanded to 2 hours. So please join me weeknights from 6 till 8 for updates on festivals, films, food, music, theater, and other ways we love to make the most of Wisconsin life. What's on Tap with Sandy Max weeknights now from 6 till 8 on WTMJ. And subscribe to the What's on Tap podcast to listen anytime you want.
Why is Susan Crawford running away from the radical record she wants to bring to our Wisconsin Supreme Court?
Susan Crawford, why did you attempt to repeal our voter ID laws that would make it easier for illegals to vote?
Susan Crawford, you called our voter ID laws draconian.
Haven't we had enough problems in Wisconsin with ineligible people trying to vote? Crawford would make it worse.
Susan Crawford is running away, but on April 1st, you can stop her. Judge Brad Schimmel has a proven record of supporting strong voter ID laws in Wisconsin. Elect Judge Brad Schimmel on April 1st. LNC Coalition paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. lcfreedom.com.
Panic strikes as you realize on Wednesday that Thursday is your anniversary. The reservations being secured.
We'll see you at 8.
The gift being purchased. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with early pay up to 2 days early on direct deposits. So even though they call you Last Minute Lisa, we'll make your last minute scrambling a bit easier. You've got this with early pay from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for QC Kinetics. You know, I get a lot of questions about QC Kinetics treatments, people asking if they should consider it for their own joint pain. Well, here's how you know. If you answer yes to any of these questions. Is your quality of life impacted by chronic pain in your knees or hips or shoulders or other joints, trouble sleeping or walking? Do you want to avoid surgery, a long recovery, and uncertainty that comes with it? And most importantly, do you miss doing the things you love because joint pain is holding you back? If you answered yes to any of these questions, don't wait. Call now. Call QC Kinetics and ask for your free consultation and learn how the latest advances in regenerative medicine can help you get lasting relief. No drugs, no surgery, no downtime. 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today for your free consultation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. Call QC Kinetics today.
Is that coffee?
That's it. I'm getting 100 cups of coffee, starting now.
Time for a quick look at your coffee and how much it costs. It's the Upswing's Coffee Index.
Smells good.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Where'd you get your morning coffee? I'm always keeping an eye out on prices for you. I want to make sure that, the budget doesn't get broken. Your brackets are probably broken, but I'm going to keep that budget in line. Stopped at a Starbucks this morning. I got the Sunsera blend, just a 12-ounce blonde roast, $2.65, which is about 10 cents cheaper than some of the local varieties that I'm seeing. So maybe Starbucks is playing that local, national, macro, micro game a little bit too. So $2.65, 22-cent tax, got out of there for $2.87. Speaking of coffee and Fast Company, if you want to, maybe I shouldn't admit this, but if you want to admit your age really quickly, Fast Company says, if you order hot black coffee, you're showing your age a little bit because Gen Z is flipping the script. Again, saw this on Fast Company this morning on how coffee is consumed. And the spoiler alert here is that Gen Z is saying it's cold brew, it's sweet, and it's loaded with a ton of creamer. For a lot of young drinkers, that first cup of coffee isn't that hot coffee, right? It's iced. And the stat that Fast Company pulled, 85% of Gen Z coffee fans are now adding creamer, compared to about 60, 70% of coffee drinkers overall. So that shift is kind of making waves. So if you're going to look for innovation and new products in the next couple of years on the shelves, look for the big companies that are doing creamers to offer new flavors and just a ton more options in that space because it's driving a ton of new consumption. And they know they have good big customers in Starbucks. Speaking of drink business, I wanted to update you on a story that we've talked about plenty here on the Upswing. Mobcraft Beer, about the brewery in Milwaukee's Walker's Point neighborhood. A couple has purchased the business for $160,000, according to reporting at the Milwaukee Business Journal. Sarah and Mike Halstead plan to reopen Mobcraft Beer sometime this spring. Sarah is a former employee at Mobcraft Beer, and this comes just 4 months after Mobcraft closed its doors. So it's good to see former employees kind of diving in, working with the owners and saying, hey, there's an opportunity for us to bring this place back to life. It's a 14,000 square foot facility. They have a 5-year lease right over there on 5th Street in Milwaukee's Walker's Point. Another thing they're going to add that they've used in the past, but they're going to dedicate sidewalk dining, another almost 1,500 square feet there. I think that innovation needs to continue all across the area, sidewalk dining and adding places for people to eat and drink and hang out outside. Sarah Halstead said that an opening date is kind of dependent upon all the approvals they have to do, but the company is aiming for early spring, which I'm guessing is probably going to be end of May, maybe early June. All right, we haven't done Elon and Mark Cuban in a while. I need to bring you up to speed on what both of them are doing online.
It's time for Musk.
Nobody's going to bat 1,000. We will make mistakes, but we'll act quickly to correct any mistakes.
Versus
Cuban.
If after you left Microsoft, you found out that Steve Ballmer traded Windows 11 for Windows 10, the Hall of Fame, but older.
On the Upswing.
Go!
Mark Cuban on his preferred platform, Blue Sky, is weighing in on crypto and cryptocurrency. Acting SEC chair is urging a crypto reset of sorts. Classification shouldn't be courtroom chaos. That's what the acting U.S. Securities and Exchange Commissioner chair is saying as he led an inaugural session of the agency's crypto task force roundtable this week. He used the occasion to urge the commission to move away from regulation through enforcement when dealing with crypto assets. Cuban analyzed this story, thought a little bit, and merely replied, if Biden would have approached crypto this way, via regulation rather than litigation, young men would have seen their net worth skyrocket and would have voted for Harris. Gary Gensler is why Harris lost young men and the election. Always being a little political without being real political. That's Mark Cuban on social. Over to Elon Musk. A big account on X, Doge Designer. This guy has 1.1 million followers. He showed a picture of Elon saying, but then I started thinking about Mars. Elon replied to that account saying, I do drift off into thinking about Mars at all times. That's where Elon's head's about. That's his big vision. He wants to get to Mars. That's in everything he does. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 10:30. ABC News and local headlines are coming up next.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill reacting to the news that Atlantic reporter Jeffrey Goldberg was accidentally included in a group message on the encrypted platform Signal that detailed U.S. plans to strike Houthi rebels in Yemen. Democratic Senator Mark Warner, ranking member of the Senate Intelligence Committee.
I think this is one more example of the kind of sloppy, careless, incompetent behavior, particularly towards classified information, that this is not a one-off or a first-time error.
The Trump administration now staking out a new legal position in the court fight over Venezuelan migrants, claiming the state secrets privilege. They say disclosing any information about the flights to El Salvador would endanger national security. Israeli authorities have released Oscar-winning Palestinian director Hamda Bilal, who was attacked by Jewish settlers in the occupied West Bank today. He was detained by Israeli police. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Vince Vitrano. Decision, Wisconsin, a week out now from the spring general election. In-person absentee voting is underway. Last day your clerk's office can offer that opportunity is Sunday, though most communities do not have early voting on the weekends. Want to check with your local clerk for days and hours. Polls open next week, Tuesday at 7 a.m. They charged Medicare and Medicaid millions for unnecessary tests and sent hundreds of thousands back in kickbacks. Punishment now for the second person involved in this scheme, 2 years behind bars for Justin Hansen of River Hills. $75,000 fine and restitution also part of that sentence. Brewers off to New York City as they open the season against the Yankees. The team wrapping up spring training with a win in their final game against the Rockies 4-2. Thursday afternoon's first pitch is 2:05. Brewers' home opener is Monday afternoon at American Family Field. Time for news about your money. WTMJ Annex Wealth Management. Market update. Look at the markets right now. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up about 85 points to 42,668. S&P 500 is at 5782. That's up 15 points. And the NASDAQ up 77 points to 18,266. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at your roads. Your WTMJ Johnson & Sons Paving Time Saver Traffic Report. Nothing doing. Really good travel conditions on the freeways right now. Highway 16 to the Zoo, 11 minutes. Zoo to the Marquette is about 6 minutes. 4145 southbound, Q to the Zoo, 1543 southbound from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette interchange running at about 14 minutes. And coming up from the south side, 94 northbound from Layton Avenue to the Marquette, 7 minutes. Your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunshine and some clouds mixed in there as well today with a high of 46 degrees. Tonight's low down to 28. Could see some frost when we wake up Wednesday, partly cloudy, high 47. Thursday's high 54 degrees, slight chance of a shower in the morning. Chance of showers and storms increasing on Friday with a high 65. Saturday, chance of showers and storms, high 56. Right now in Madison, 37 degrees, 31 in Green Bay, Waukesha at 38, and in Milwaukee, 37. I'm Vince Vitrano, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 10:34.
Hey, moms, dads, grandparents, what are your plans for spring break? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I've got a great idea for you. With no school this week, you need an outing. Take your kids, take your grandkids to the amazing Mine Shaft Restaurant and Entertainment Center in Hartford for hours of safe and super affordable fun. I used to take my daughters there all the time. My nieces and nephews, too. They loved it. I loved it. The Mine Shaft has a world-class game room, over 70 games, including the most popular and easiest games, even for the youngsters. Today through Thursday, kids 5 and under eat free from the kids' menu. Monday and Thursday, when you buy one pizza, your second pizza is always free. Wednesday and Friday, the all-you-can-eat fish fry is $7.99. What a value. The Mine Shaft will entertain your kids this week during spring break, especially your teenagers. Grandparents, spend time with your grandkids at the Mine Shaft. They're going to love it. Downtown Hartford and off the highway in Oshkosh. Just walk in. It's big food. It's big fun. It's incredible. It's the amazing Mine Shaft.
Are you worried about running out of money in retirement? Wondering about how to pay less taxes? Join me, Tony Drake, for the Retirement Ready Show, live every Saturday at noon and Sunday at 7 a.m. on WTMJ 620 or 103.3 FM. We'll talk about smart strategies to help you retire with confidence. Don't miss it.
Drake & Associates LLC is an independent investment advisory firm that offers a variety of different investment vehicles. This commercial is provided for informational purposes only and should not be construed as individual investment advice. Drake & Associates LLC does not provide legal or tax advice. Past performance is not indicative of future performance.
The Lifetime Door Free Garage Door Contest is almost over. Time is running out to win a brand new garage door from Lifetime Door. Absolutely free. This contest ends March 31st. Don't miss the chance to win a stunning, high-quality garage door that will boost your home's curb appeal and values. Entering is easy. Text GARAGE to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, or just go to WTMJ.com and the entry form is on the very front page. It's just that simple. For contest rules, visit our website, WTMJ.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. So, Fast Company. I've been talking a lot about Fast Company on today's show. Its new Most Innovative Companies list is out. It's 609 organizations that are reshaping industries and culture. They selected companies that are making big impacts across 58 categories. Now, the publishers and the editors of the publication find the companies that they think are the biggest and brightest. And then there's a submission side that companies can submit. And then the publishers and editors say, wow, let's pick the best from this list. So I'm reading through the most innovative companies in film and television list for 2025. I'm seeing FX, owned by Disney. I'm seeing Pixar, owned by Disney. I'm seeing Netflix. And then I go to number 10, and I see a company called SRH. I'm like, SRH. Let's go to my AI platform of preference, maybe Perplexity, and see, whoa, yes, that indeed is Milwaukee-based SRH. Matt Sablejack, one of the partners and founders of SRH, joins us in studio. Matt, I really appreciate your time. Before we talk about the Fast Company Award, just tell us what SRH is, and congratulations.
Oh, well, thanks, Jeff. And
sure.
Do we have to disclose that you were my first boss?
I think we may have to, but we can go back and tell that story in a minute.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we've been for 10 years an ad agency here in Milwaukee that's like aspiring to it. And I think one of the questions is always like, an ad agency is an ad agency is an ad agency, but like,
right.
What are you about, right? And what we're about is fame. And when I say fame, I mean we believe that every brand should strive to like be famous in their category. Fame has a magic, a sizzle to it that's bigger than like brand awareness or engagement, right? It's like, it's being distinctive, it's being recognized, it's being worthy to be talked about. And we've done that for a lot of brands here locally, Harley Davidson, the Green Bay Packers, Children's Wisconsin, et cetera, and then doing it nationally as well. And the three of us founders are also filmmakers.
Okay.
And we wanted to find a way from the beginning to make films and make films famous.
And SRH stands for yourself and your two business
Sablejack,
partners.
Ravenwood, Hogerton. Yep.
All right. So a lot of, we worked in media and marketing together way back in our onmilwaukee.com days. And I always saw that kind of spark of creativity and just always thinking about what's next. And I've always admired that about you, Matt. When you think about marketing and advertising, there's so much thought in the space. Like, all right, half of it works, half of it doesn't. Where do you put your money? How do you make those investments? What have you done as an agency to kind of package that retelling of the marketing story?
Well, first, we've spent a lot of time, like let's go to like the field of medicine, which is very science-based, we hope, right? And they have the American Medical Journal, right? And that is where the latest research on therapies, techniques, et cetera, are published. And you hope that your doctor is reading these so he's up to date on what the latest treatments are in diagnostics. In the marketing world, there is a whole body of research. We call it empirical marketing. That's just our little kind of spin on marketing effectiveness.
Okay.
So there are marketing scientists out there who are actually running longitudinal experiments and trying to understand, how does loyalty work? How do people really choose, and why do they choose the brands that they choose? And so we've been looking at a lot of that data that I think a lot of American agencies aren't paying attention to, because a lot of it isn't coming out of America, and repackaging that into tools and principles and techniques for our clients. And again, I'd bring it all back to, it's true, 50% of advertising doesn't work. In fact, there's a report that just came out, sorry to jump on you, Jeff,
No,
that just
that's
said
right.
50% of ads are less emotionally engaging than cows chewing grass.
All right. But, that still works in some capacity. But the companies want the ROI, and that's what you have to do as an agency, right? You have to take care of teammates and partners and make the creative work. So tomorrow, Matt, Fortune releases its most innovative companies list. Be interesting to see who's on that list. When we come back, we're going to talk about the top 5 companies on the Fast Company list. But I also was really intrigued that, why? Not just for their innovation. Why did SRH make this list? It's got something to do with beavers, right?
Something to do with beavers.
Yeah. This is The Upswing. You're listening to WTMJ.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Founded by inventors, fueled by community, and focused on business. This is WTMJ's Jeff Sherman speaking on behalf of my good friends at Horicon Bank. Horicon Bank, they've been doing banking differently since 1896. How? Your financing requests, they can be approved in days. You don't have to wait weeks because your banker understands you and your business. Service and products go hand in hand, providing top-notch products to meet your cash flow needs. Horicon Bank, they always get the job done together, doing good. That's their vision, and they are committed to doing what it takes to help your business grow. Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice. Member FDIC.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Rejuvenex.com. The Census Bureau says more than 12,000 Americans turn 65 each day. It's a surge they call Peak 65, the highest number in history. Some Annex clients retire early. Some keep working because they love it. You know why? Because they've got custom plans built by fee-only fiduciaries. They identified their wants and needs, and we went to work. We want to do the same for you. Annex does financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the Get Started button.
Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scafidi, and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handled all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service. In just 2 days, my roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit LoyalFamilyRenovations.com.
IndyCar racing returns to the Milwaukee Mile at Wisconsin State Fair Park on August 23rd and 24th for the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250 weekend. Secure your seats in the grandstands for the best views of all the action. Plus, we've pulled out all the stops with incredible food and live entertainment in the epic free fan zone. Race tickets are on sale now at wistatefair.com. Get ready because IndyCar is back with the Snap-on Milwaukee Mile 250, August 23rd and 24th.
Football fans, Verizon is giving you the chance to win the ultimate draft experience with the Road to the Draft sweepstakes. 10 lucky winners will win tickets to the first day of the 2025 draft in Green Bay, including round-trip car service from Milwaukee, hotel accommodations, plus access to the Verizon viewing zone. Don't miss your chance to win the ultimate draft experience powered by Verizon. Hurry to select Wisconsin Verizon locations to enter by April 13th. No purchase necessary to enter. Must be legal U.S. resident of Wisconsin or Illinois, age 21 years or older to enter. Void where prohibited. For official rules and full details, visit www.espnwisconsincontest.com.
Welcome back to the Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman. Fast Company is out with its list of most innovative companies, some handpicked by the business magazine's editors and publishers, others selected from nominated companies like Milwaukee-based SRH. Quickly, the top 5 from Fast Company: Waymo, NVIDIA, Nubank, the WNBA, and BYD, Chinese electric vehicle manufacturer, obviously all doing incredibly innovative things in their own rights for sure. But let's talk about SRH and its inclusion in the film and television list for the publication. Matt Sablejack, partner and president of the firm, joins us in studio. So, Matt, one of the major reasons you're included on the list is a film that your company worked on called Hundreds of Beavers. Really creative, super funny. But that independent film space, it's tough. And how do you build kind of a, I don't know, maybe not the perfect world, but a cult following for an independent film? And how do you spur release with creativity? Because I'm guessing that's why your firm landed up on this list.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic. Like, we're on this most innovative list, and you just rattled off those companies. And it's largely due to a 108-minute black and white silent slapstick comedy film, that was made on a shoestring budget, right?
Yeah.
And you don't start there and go like, wow, that's really innovative, right? But the way that I've just got to give a shout out to the filmmakers, Mike Cheslick, Ryland Hughes, my partners, Kurt and Sam. The way that we couldn't find a distributor for this film because it's such an oddball, and so we had to figure out how we're going to do it on our own. And I think that what got us on this list is the fact that we approach this like we would building a brand, which is top down, bottom up. Top down, we were always going after write-ups in the New York Times, the LA Times, Vanity Fair, et cetera. That stuff really still matters because it reaches huge audiences.
Exactly, right.
In fact, you don't think of innovation when you think of the Associated Press, but when we got an AP pickup, it was a huge deal. And then the bottom-up thing was we were relentless on social with engagement. We did hundreds of parody posters for the film. We did a road show through the Midwest. Instead of launching this film on the coast, we did like a 13, 14 city road show complete with like live in-theater stunts. And I think what really got us on this list and made this film famous was like our willingness to do things that most studios just aren't willing to do to get a film popular.
Yeah, I mean, to really be in the trenches and to spur creativity. The film's about a drunken Applejack salesman and kind of his ongoing battle with an army of beavers, right?
Beavers played by mascots.
And mascots in beaver costumes. So it's the premise, obviously a little wacky and lends itself to creativity, but you got to lean into that. And so when you think about that creativity and your success there, how do you see it influencing films in the future? And then how do you use it for your current clients?
Yeah. I mean, we're now, thanks to the success of Hundreds of Beavers, like we're now meeting with filmmakers who have, original, interesting, not reverse engineered. Let's start with like what's popular and where the audience is, but like truly art, like Hundreds of Beavers, I think, really is. It's like cinema, and helping them go, okay, well, how are you going to find an audience with your film now, right? And bringing the same toolbox and tactics to it, which is like, okay, well, we've got to find these niche communities that are really likely to champion this film. We've got to target them digitally. We've got to get in theaters and create a live social experience, you know? And then we've got to allure people in the same way that I think it's a lot more like an indie band mentality than it is a film mentality, selling merch, et cetera. Right?
Yeah.
And on the client side of things, I mean, this is the toolbox that we work, you know, the building fame toolbox of being really distinctive. You know, I look at it like WMD. It's like worthy of remembering, being moving, and being distinctive, right? Like something that's really memorable, something that has an emotional attachment or inspiration to it, and then something that's distinctive. It's not going to be mistaken for something else, right? It's not generic. It's not going to, oh, what is that film? It's kind of like that other film. Nobody ever forgets Hundreds of Beavers.
Yeah. It's a crowded marketplace, and you got to do the unique things to stand out. We're talking with Matt Sablejack, president and partner at SRH, one of Fast Company's most innovative companies. When we come back, we'll dive in a bit more into what does great branding mean, and what are some of Matt's habits and daily routines that helps him stay sharp and creative in his role. I'm Jeff Sherman. This is The Upswing, and you are listening to WTMJ.
Tell us a little bit about Innovative Signs.
We're located out in Waukesha. Where we are really focused mostly is manufacturing outdoor electrical signs.
You came to Horicon Bank. How do you think other local businesses can benefit?
When I call, Michelle picks up the phone, and when I email, she responds in a timely manner. A few years ago, I talked to my accountant about shopping around looking for a different bank just to get some alternatives, and he said, absolutely not. You're not going to like working for a big bank. They have a lot more regulations. So that's how we got involved with Cornerstone Bank. When Horicon purchased Cornerstone, we came along for the ride, and it's been great.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list.
But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again.
What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree.
What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
So how is that possible? 1.9% real estate commission? There must be something you're not telling me.
I hear that a lot. The truth is, everybody could do it, but they choose not to because folks keep paying more than they have to. I guess they just haven't heard yet that Century 21 Benefit Realty can make that 1.9% real estate commission promise on the sale of your home and stick to it. So I'd like to think that's going to make your decision easy. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Welcome back to The Upswing. I'm Jeff Sherman, SRH, coming in at number 10 on Fast Company's most innovative film and television companies, located right here, just outside of beautiful downtown Milwaukee in Milwaukee's Walker's Point neighborhood. So SRH has this independent film, Hundreds of Beavers, that it produced. The film cost about $150,000 to make, taking in more than $1 million in revenue through creative marketing and more. You wonder, and I wondered, all right, you land on this most innovative list, Matt. Now, what do you do with this film now that it's truly a part of the agency?
Mm-hmm.
How do you continue to scale it, to get more distribution, and make sure more and more people are seeing it? What does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, we're in the midst of a 40-plus city tour of theatrical screenings and live shows, et cetera, in the UK right now, all sold out. There's Blu-rays. There's going to be a vinyl release of the soundtrack, right?
Like old school, I like it.
Yeah, and it just like, this is a timeless film. And so we can just keep, like, there's just ways to keep it alive and new stuff coming out over and over and over again.
Right? I mean, maybe even a modern day Rocky Horror Picture Show to an extent. I mean, films like that are still, no matter the generation, there's appeal there to see at certain times and build community and dress up and be participatory. I mean, that's what the economy wants in the film space. And I see that through what you guys are doing.
Yeah, I think we have, and we did this very intentionally, given people a really compelling reason to go to a theater, and buckle up and have a fun ride. I think where a lot of movies are struggling are they're dramas that, candidly, whether you watch them in your home or you watch them in a movie theater, I don't know how much that, as a film lover, sometimes that experience isn't that much different.
Yeah.
But like Hundreds of Beavers in a packed theater with a bunch of people that are laughing along to it is a blast. It's a unique experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we talk about on this show. Community and commerce. They go together, and they work better when they're working together each and every day. That's Economics 101. So when you get up each and every morning, I love to ask CEOs this question. What are some of the habits and routines that just keep you in that creative space? Because it's we all got a lot of things on our plate. We all are being pulled this way or that way. But what does that look like for you, Matt?
Yeah, as a newish dad, so I've got an 11-month-old boy.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my wife, Tana, and I split time between here and the Pacific Northwest, where she's from. I really rely on curation, So it's like reading the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times every day, getting both sides of the news and I think they have incredible critics. The New Yorker magazine is a huge source for me for stories and for film criticism, for television criticism. And then I think one of the most important things is just surrounding myself with people who are going to share things with me that would never come across my browsing, my social feeds, my Google alerts, et cetera, my Substacks. I can't overstate that. Weird stuff shared by friends and how influential it's been for me.
Yeah, being open to those messages from different sources helps spur that creative mind for sure. Just quickly, a campaign or initiative that you're working on locally that you're super proud of.
Yeah, I think all the work that we've done with the Children's Wisconsin Foundation, around their whole health, social, physical, and mental, helping them through our work raise tens of millions of dollars, for like the Craig Yabuki walk-in clinic, and then Rally Round is the big signature event that's coming up, and we've had the privilege to participate in that. That'll be in September. And hopefully it'll be the signature event for Children's Wisconsin moving forward.
Matt Sablejack, president and partner at SRH, one of the most innovative companies with Fast Company, located right here in beautiful Milwaukee. Matt, I appreciate your time this morning.
Thanks,
All the
Jeff.
best in the future. Coming up next, Wisconsin's Midday News. But first, let's do some local and regional business headlines.
These are your business headlines from the Milwaukee Business Journal.
The NCAA men's basketball tournament returns to Pfizer Forum. This was the first time Milwaukee hosted rounds of the tournament since 2022, when the event saw an attendance of 25,000 people and an economic impact of $6.5 million. A Taco Pros restaurant is opening in West Milwaukee. The West Milwaukee location is the 5th Taco Pros to open in the Milwaukee area. Milwaukee Area Technical College is adding a 2,000 square foot biology lab and virtual reality classroom. The project will cost an estimated $1.5 million and be completed by August. I'm Logan Hansen from MilwaukeeBusinessJournal.com on 620 WTMJ.